Once again, instead of Friday night football recap, we're doing a Thursday night football recap. And what a way to wrap up the regular season. I mean, we had the rivals go at it. Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain faced off at Bill Shepherd Field in a game heard and streamed on KYCA. And man, oh man, it was one tight game there Thursday night. Both sides traded touchdowns throughout the first half, and it was 21-17 at one point, and it looked like it would be a thriller all the way to the end. And, well, one of the reasons why I had Michael Jackson's Thriller as my song dedication for the game. Sorry, I had to do that. Couldn't help myself. Anyway, Bradshaw, however, well, they really took control in the second half of the game. And for Prescott, they're already depleted backfield, just kept getting more depleted. Before the game, Braylon Johnson, well, of course, he'd been out for about a month because of a rodeo injury. Jacob Chamberlain, he was out prior to the game because of a lower body injury. Nick Phillips was out with an upper body injury. Then over the course of the game, Trace Overton got injured. Eli Allen got injured. The Geostorm, Gio Puglisi, got injured. Despite all that, Prescott competed the whole way. It was just one injury after another, really shorthanded, but they still went out there. They still competed. They still fought hard against Bradshaw. They didn't say, we don't have the horses, so forget about it. Also, it was the rivalry game with Bradshaw. It was their final game of the season. For the vast majority of seniors, it's going to be their last football game, period. So, in spite of the odds, they just said, you know what? Might as well just go all out for this one. Kind of tapping into one of my favorite lines from one of the best sci-fi shows ever, Babylon 5, when Captain Sheridan said, if you're falling off a cliff, you might as well flap your arms because you got nothing to lose. But at the end of the night, the Bears came away with a 35-17 win. Another good game for Kylan Jackson. 2 touchdown runs, including one from 76 yards out, and he also threw a touchdown pass. Michael Sanford, he had 2 touchdown throws. For Prescott, Gio Puglisi nailed Kenny Miller-Terry with a 58-yard touchdown strike. Caleb Fox, who's normally a linebacker, he broke through the line, and he rushed for a 30-yard touchdown. So for Prescott, well, unfortunately, their season is over. Now, for Bradshaw Mountain, well, it's off to the playoffs for them, and right now they are number 3 in the 4A conference in the state PowerPoint rankings, so they will have a bye for the opening round of state, which begins next Friday. Meanwhile, speaking of some other state playoff matchups, volleyball in the 4A conference, Prescott finished at number 9 in PowerPoints, and Bradshaw Mountain is number 19, so they will take part in the state play-in round, which occurs on Tuesday. The Lady Badgers will have a home match. They will be taking on number 24 ranked Walden Grove. The Lady Bears, meanwhile, they will travel to number 14 St. Mary's. Now, another postseason news. Yesterday, unfortunately, turned out to be the end of the road for the Prescott badminton team, but man, oh man, did they give Ironwood all they could handle. The Lady Badgers got edged out by the Lady Eagles 5-4 in the Final Four of state, so Ironwood meets Sunrise Mountain today for the state championship. Congratulations on another really great season for the Prescott badminton team. Yavapai College men's soccer team, they upset number 6 ranked Arizona Western in a shootout on Tuesday in the Region 1 semifinals. The final Rough Rider goal scored by former Bradshaw Mountain standout Jair Montoya. So Yavapai is at Mojave today for the region championship game. Also, the GSAC soccer tournament, that is coming up. And number 8 ranked Embry-Riddle women, they will host Hope International in the semifinals next Saturday. The Embry-Riddle men will also be playing. They play next Friday, and that'll be against an opponent yet to be determined. Also, while we have no more Prescott football to broadcast this season, We will have Prescott flag football on the air Monday. The Lady Badgers conclude the regular season in Kingman at Lee Williams High School. Game starts at 6 p.m., and you can listen to it on our sports station, The Team, 1450 AM, KNOT, or you can watch the live stream on the KYCA Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, KYCA Digital. And speaking of Lee Williams, longtime listeners know how much I've talked about that school being haunted, including reports of a woman in a 19th century dress roaming around the football field. Well, since it is the day after Halloween, and I think we're still in a bit of a Halloween spirit here, I thought it would be interesting to see what other sports venues are also haunted. So I did some research, and one place I discovered that has its share of paranormal activity is the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Now, prior to the building becoming the Hall of Fame, it actually served as a branch for the Bank of Montreal, and back in 1953, one of the tellers apparently took her own life in one of the restrooms, and there have been reports of a dark-haired woman being seen throughout the building, and several visitors have also reported what they call a strong sense of not being alone, though I think in those cases that can be chalked up to more of a psychological explanation. Usually I don't consider that evidence of the paranormal. Camp Randall Stadium at the University of Wisconsin is also reportedly haunted. Back in the 1860s, it was a barracks for the Union Army. Then it served as a POW camp where around 140 Confederate prisoners died from illness and injury. And some people at tailgate parties have reported seeing apparitions in Civil War uniforms wandering around the parking lot. Another one that is supposedly haunted is Frontier Field in Rochester, New York, which is home to the minor league baseball team, the Rochester Red Wings. It was built in 1996, and when they started digging there, they found bones. So already you're asking for that place to be haunted. Employees and fans have reported TVs and lights randomly turning on and off. Also, take this into consideration. Prior to moving to Frontier Field, the Red Wings had won 18 league championships. Since moving there in the late 1990s, 0 league championships. Cursed or what? The University of Notre Dame, now, not necessarily one of their sports venues, but some people believe that the ghost of George Gipp is active in Washington Hall. Yes, that George Gipp, the great football player who on his deathbed uttered the famous phrase to legendary coach Knute Rockne, "Win one for the Gipper." People at Washington Hall have reported footsteps, other phantom noises, and music being played from no identifiable source. Finally, and okay, this isn't a sports venue, but the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee is where many Major League Baseball teams stay when they are in town to play the Brewers. And players like Bryce Harper and Giancarlo Stanton have reported coming back to their hotel rooms to find their clothes thrown around the room and furniture moved around. One story comes from former Texas Rangers All-Star Michael Young, who said he heard footsteps inside his room one night, and he was the only one there, prompting him to say in an interview with ESPN, "Bleep that place." Also, before we take our break, okay, this isn't a sports-related haunting, but I just found this one interesting because of the location. I was watching one of my favorite YouTube channels yesterday, What Lurks Beneath, and highly recommend it that you check it out, especially if you love stories about the paranormal and cryptozoology. And the topic that was being discussed was disappearances and strange encounters in the Superstition Mountains outside Phoenix. One encounter involved a vaquero who saw these little people or fae, whatever you want to call them. And apparently, the Yavapai people have stories about them, and they're reportedly about 3 feet tall with round heads and no noses. And along with living in the Superstition Mountains, the Yavapai say that these little beings also live at Granite Mountain. So keep that in mind next time you're up there. All right, folks, 928-541-1016, number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Break time here. When we come back, we're going to be talking a little Prescott swimming as they get ready for the state meet, which takes place next week. In the studio with me, I have their head coach, Bill Revere. He also brought two of his swimmers with him. We have Lucas Hall in the studio. We also have Emma Chrysler in the studio. So we will be talking to them on the other side of the break. We'll be back right after this. We are back here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the show. John Rust with you. And in the studio with me this morning, I have Bill Revere, head coach of the Prescott swim team. And he brought two of his swimmers with him today. Got Lucas Hall and Emma Chrysler here. Guys, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, John.
Good morning.
Okay, so Bill, before we get going with the swim team, I was talking about haunted sports venues around North America. And, of course, we have Lee Williams, a haunted high school. Coach, do you know of any swimming venues around Arizona that might have any paranormal activity to them?
Yeah, I don't think that I know of any, but I'm sure there probably are. Up in Flagstaff, they demolished the pool and then they built a new one. So you never know.
Yeah. And, of course, I think it was last week that you guys were over at Glendale for Best of the West, and you said that's a pretty old pool. That's been around for many decades, right?
Yeah, I don't know when it was built, but, back in the early 2000s, I was taking my kids to that pool, and it was one of the premier pools for a while. So yeah, it's been around. I think in the 50s that it was built. It's definitely an older pool.
Well, speaking of Best of the West, let's start with that one because Prescott had a really good showing down there last week for both the boys and girls. Quite a few top 10 finishes, and I guess a good way to kind of cap off the regular season there and look ahead to the postseason. So, what were some of the things that impressed you about Prescott's performance there at Best of the West last weekend?
Yeah, we really had a good weekend, and it really started on Thursday with Flagstaff, and we really had to swim hard then. Then Friday we had the prelims, and then Saturday we had finals. So they were having to swim fast for 3 days, and it's kind of hard to keep all that going, but they kind of just ramped up and So Saturday really was a good day for us. Relays did really well, but some of our individual events, they scored very high, and so we got in the top 3 and got some medals.
Yeah. And, well, Lucas, you were one of those guys who did really well there at Best of the West. You were 7th in the 50 free. You were part of the 200 and 400 free relays that both came in 4th place there. So what were some of the keys to those top finishes for you as an individual and then you and the relay teams?
Yeah, I think I really like listening to music before my races. It really gets me hyped up and going and moving a lot. But getting the team all together and we all supporting each other helps a lot.
Okay. Now, because I'm such a music snob and a music fan, I have to ask, what kind of music do you listen to get hyped up before these meets?
Well, my favorite one to listen to is probably the Rocky theme in the very beginning. It really gets me going.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, I could go even beyond that. Rocky theme is iconic. It's great. Get the whole soundtrack for Rocky 4. I mean, that is just a total 80s, just hype-up experience. Listen to the whole soundtrack or just any song from that soundtrack. That will get you pumped up, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Emma, you also had a really good performance down there. You were 6th in I believe you were part of the relays. 200 medley came in 6th. And I think you were also 3rd in the 400 free as well. So just tell us, what were some of the keys to your successes there as an individual and part of the relays?
I'm not quite sure. We just tried to swim as fast as we could, and we knew we were placed good, and so we really just wanted those medals, and so we just really tried to swim hard for those medals.
So, Lucas, as Coach Revere said, this is like 3 straight days of swimming really hard. You get up to Saturday, you get up to the finals. I'm sure there was a little fatigue setting in there. So what did you have to do to kind of push through that and come up with these really good places?
Well, on Thursday, I was really just worried about the weekend, and I was like, this meet is important, but the next 2 days are going to be even more important. And I was just getting home, getting a lot of rest, eating what I should be eating, and then I was just ready to go.
So that means I guess you had to skip some of the Halloween candy then, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that was last week. I'm thinking of yesterday. But so, Emma, what about you? What were some of the things you had to do to kind of push through whatever fatigue you might have had on Saturday to come up with these really good finishes?
I just told myself that fatigue wasn't real. I wasn't tired. It was just fake. And I also, unlike Lucas, I ate a bunch of Halloween candy to try and get myself ready for those swims.
Well, I guess if you ate a bunch of Halloween candy, you were on one heck of a sugar rush there. Coach, that's probably not something you want to hear from one of your swimmers. Like, yeah, give me some Reese's peanut butter cup and some Mars bars here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take very long to burn off the sugar. So I don't know if that was a great prep for the meet. And you probably want more simple sugars like honey or something, not complex like a Snickers bar or Butterfingers. But yeah, I mean, it seemed to work because she swam fast.
I guess that's kind of my feelings. Like, well, it's not what I recommend, but since it worked, what the heck? I'm a results-oriented guy, no matter how you get those results. And so, Coach, coming into this year, you had, let's see, I believe it's 14 on the girls' side. You had 10 on the boys' side. Some people might think those are pretty small numbers, but I'll tell you what you lack in quantity, you certainly make up for in quality, because both the boys and girls have had really successful seasons this year.
Yeah, I mean, we came into the season, we had quite a few freshmen, so we were teaching them how to swim, basically. But we had a good core. We weren't decimated by graduation, so we had a really good core coming up, and they performed well, and they scored well.
So, Lucas, again, you're on a boys team that just has 10 swimmers this year. I'm sure you'd like to have more there, but with those small numbers, do you find that that makes team bonding a lot easier for you guys?
I would say it does. I've really connected with the 2 seniors that are graduating this year. We've become really good friends, and last year I rarely talked to them, so And the freshmen, when they came in, they're very kind, and it was very easy to bond with them.
And Emma, same thing. I mean, the girls little bigger than the boys. You got 14 on there, but do you find that those smaller numbers make it a lot easier for you guys to build up some really good chemistry there?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're able to like talk to each other a lot more than we usually would in a bigger team, and we all have become friends. And every time we see each other in the halls at school, we always say hi and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so, Coach, what would you say are some of the keys to the success that Prescott has had this year in their regular season dual tri meets and also down at the big invitationals?
Well, the team at the beginning of the season, some of them have never swam before. Others didn't swim over the summer. Others did. So, we're just trying to get them ready, get them in shape, a lot of them. And then it's a build. So you're building throughout the season. You're increasing the yardage, intensity. And as you go through the season, it starts to mesh. And the kids start to mesh. They're getting physically strong. And so you just get better and better throughout the season.
Okay. Lucas, along with all the work you guys do in the pool, you also have what's called dry land training, which actually you do that before you get in the pool. So for listeners not familiar with that concept, what are some of the things you guys do when it comes to dry land training to help make you better swimmers?
It's really just getting our muscles ready, moving our necks, moving our arms, a lot of core work. Our core is very important for swimming. And it's really just getting warmed up and ready to get in the pool.
All right. Well, folks, in the studio with me today, I have members of the Prescott High School swim team. I got their head coach, Bill Revere, and two of his swimmers. I got Lucas Hall and Emma Chrysler. So we'll be talking to them more on the other side of the break. But before we go to break, it's time to see who's shined over the past 7 days as we present the Tri-City Sports Roundup 3 Stars of the Week. Starting with the ladies, our number 3 star is Tessa Updegraff of the Embry-Riddle soccer team. She had a hat trick in the Lady Eagles' 6-1 thumping of La Sierra on Thursday. The number 2 star, well, actually it's a pair here. We have Annabelle Courtney and Claire Long of the Prescott badminton team. They were the state runners-up in doubles at last Saturday's state tournament. And our number 1 star of the week is Abby Daniels, also of the Prescott badminton team. She was the state runner-up in singles at last Saturday's state tournament. Now for the guys, our number 3 star is Diego Galaz of the Bradshaw Mountain football team. He made 13 tackles in the Bears' 28-21 victory over Coconino last Friday. The number 2 star is Menno Dow of the Prescott football team. He recorded 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery in the Badgers' 26-22 loss to Yonker last Friday. Excuse me. And our number 1 star of the week is Kylan Jackson of the Bradshaw Mountain football team. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and became the team's all-time leading touchdown leader in the Bears' 28-21 victory over Coconino last Friday. Then on Thursday, Jackson had 2 touchdown runs and a touchdown pass in Bradshaw's 35-17 win over Prescott. And oh, by the way, found out that quite a few big-time schools are looking at Kylan Jackson. Apparently, he has had calls from NAU, Oregon State, and Utah. So best of luck to Kylan Jackson, as be interesting to see where he lands and where we will be following him when he plays at the next level. All right, break time here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We'll be back with more right after this. We are back here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. And on the studio with me today, I have Bill Revere, head coach of the Prescott swim team, and two of his swimmers, Lucas Hall and Emma Chrysler, with us. And, Coach, this time next Saturday, you will be down at the Skyline Aquatic Center, I believe, in Mesa, and that will be the state meet. So how many Badgers and Lady Badgers are we going to be seeing at state?
Well, I think we won't find out until Monday or Tuesday of next week, but I think we're going to have probably 10 swimmers. We're going to have 4 relays, but because I think we're just solidly placed right now. And we're going to have several individuals, but we don't quite know how many yet.
Yeah. And again, when you have, combining boys and girls, you have 24 swimmers, and to have 10 of those swimmers go, I can't figure out the percentage of that. It's a good percent of your total swimmers going to. I stink at math, guys. What do you want? But still, 10 swimmers out of 24 going to state. That's some pretty good numbers there, Coach.
Yeah, we've had a lot of kids that are either on the team for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and so it just builds that quality of team and swimmer that they keep coming back. They work over in the off season, and so that's how you just keep these things going.
And Lucas, have you ever been to the state meet before?
Yes, I was there last year. I was just on the relays, and I most likely will be this year too.
Okay, so just give us your thoughts. What was it like? Your experiences there at state? What were some of the things that stuck out to you there?
Well, it was a lot of fun, a lot of team bonding because there's a lot less of us, and we're all kind of in a little house together, and it's pretty fun. And there's a lot. We all hype each other up more. We all get excited because it is the final meet, and most people are going to be leaving.
Okay. And Emma, you've been to state before, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I guess for you, again, it's the state meet. Any kind of big nerves that you have to overcome for that, or what?
Oh, no. I'm just excited to do it and swim my hardest and try my best.
Okay. So, any particular memories that stick out for you there, your previous experiences at state?
Oh, yeah. It's always fun. It's always fun hanging out at our state house that we have. Mm-hmm. It's always fun, swimming in the pool, playing billiards. Or,
okay, that kind of pool.
Yeah, playing that kind of pool. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, well, folks, of course, when we have athletes in here, we got to find out about their teammates. So let's get to lightning round here. And we'll do both boys and girls. So, well, ladies first. So, Emma, I'm going to start with you. Who on the Prescott girls swim team would you say is the best dressed athlete? Who's just the team fashion plate?
Oh, definitely Danica.
Oh, Danica Aldag. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who would you say is probably the most talkative swimmer?
Definitely Kaylee Morehouse.
All right. What about quietest swimmer?
Ooh, I'd say Ellie Striano.
Okay. I'll remember that if I ever have to interview her then, Coach.
Yep.
Who would you say is probably the funniest swimmer on Prescott? Who's your team comedian?
Can I say myself? I'm pretty funny.
Okay, sure. I've had players declare themselves, funniest or best dressed or whatever. I got no problem with that. Hey, remember, I think it was Kid Rock. It ain't bragging if you do it and you back it up. So, who's probably the most serious swimmer on the team?
Definitely. Sorry.
That's okay.
Definitely Megan Lip.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And which swimmer can eat the most in one sitting?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'd have to say Kaylee.
Okay. Kaylee Morehouse again making the list. All right. Lucas, let's go to the boys now. Who is the best dressed swimmer on the boys swim team?
Probably Evan Marlatt. He always has a lot of interesting outfits on.
All right. Who would you say is probably the most talkative swimmer?
Probably Eli Bittner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
On the opposite end, who's the quietest guy on the Prescott boys swim team?
Tyler, yeah.
Okay, and who would you say is probably the funniest guy on the team?
Probably Eli too.
Oh,
Eli Bittner.
Way to go, Eli! You make it twice, man. And we're not even done with the lightning round yet. Who would you say is probably the most serious swimmer on the team?
Evan, if he really turns it on, but otherwise, I would say it just seems like Tyler seems pretty serious just because how quiet he is.
Okay, and finally, which swimmer on the boys' side can eat the most in one sitting?
Kai route.
Oh, man. All right. Well, speaking of eating, of course, eating Halloween candy. Last night was Halloween. And I know last week I did kind of the Halloween theme on the show, but it's the day after Halloween. I think people are still in the Halloween candy hangover mode. Some people might even be having late Halloween parties today. So I'm going to do another Halloween theme episode here because you know what? It's my show, and I can do whatever I want. Or in the words of Eric Cartman, whatever, I do what I want. So, all right. So, Lucas, for Halloween, what would you say is your most favorite costume you ever wore?
I think 2 years ago I wore Michael Myers, and that was pretty fun to wear.
Okay. Emma, your favorite Halloween costume of all time for you?
I think when I was like 5 years old and I was a hot dog.
So did you also have like the little mustard stripe? Or
Oh,
something?
yeah. I had all the toppings.
Oh, great. Okay. Now, Lucas, favorite Halloween candy of all time?
Probably Reese's.
Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups, or just
Peanut
anything
butter,
Reese's?
Peanut butter cups.
Okay.
Probably.
Actually, I yesterday, because it was Halloween, I figured what the heck I'd splurge. I actually had the Reese's peanut butter cup with the Reese's Pieces inside. That was sweet, literally and figuratively. Okay, Emma, your favorite Halloween candy of all time?
It's not really popular, but I'd say the Sour Patch Watermelon.
I can deal with that. Lucas, worst Halloween candy ever?
Probably candy corn.
Abso-flippin-lutely. Emma, worst Halloween candy ever?
I'd say Baby Ruth's.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep.
You know, last week I had someone in here who said Butterfinger was the worst. I mean, what? Coach, what are you teaching me? Where do you get these kids from? Jesus.
I have no idea. You can't teach them everything.
Well, I'm disappointed. Well, I guess I know what your worst Halloween candy is. You already told me that before the show.
Oh yeah, candy corn. I just don't understand it. It just is. It's like somebody took a candle and made it into corn. I just can't stand it.
Candy corn is to Halloween what fruitcake is to Christmas. That's my opinion. Okay, now, Lucas, what would you say is probably the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Probably Friday the 13th. I think that was.
Oh, the original
probably
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Emma, scariest movie you've ever seen?
I'd say The Conjuring.
Oh, heck yeah. I love that. I love the Conjuring movies. And yeah, I can see where that one's scary. Just tense atmosphere and everything. And it's not one of these movies that it's like, just rely on jump scares. I mean, they set the atmosphere. They build up everything. So heck yeah, I love the Conjuring. Coach, what about you? What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
It had to be The Exorcist. And, when her head turned around, I was out the door. I was like done with that movie.
You know what? To this day, I still can't take watching that. And I said it last week, Exorcist is my all-time scariest movie. And yeah, I think every time Linda Blair's head spins around, I just kind of look away like, okay, I can't deal with this. Actually, here's a funny story about the book, The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. My dad told me this story because I think when I was just a little itty-bitty, witty-ditty rusty baby, I think I was maybe like about 1 or 2, and I was still sleeping in the crib, and my dad tells the story of, at the time, he was reading The Exorcist, and it's kind of funny because my dad was such a rational, logical person, very sarcastic guy, though that's where I get my sarcasm from. But he didn't really believe or was wrapped up in like paranormal and all the weird phenomenon stuff that I am. But he was reading that book, and they get to the scene where the bed's bouncing up and down and everything. And he actually said, this kind of surprised me. He said, there were a couple times I read that, like I went into your room and looked in there and checked just to make sure the bed was your crib wasn't bouncing up and down on the floor. Oh man, so that's my dad. That's my dad's story from for Halloween when he read The Exorcist. Okay, speaking of Halloween, speaking of trick-or-treating, of course we had trick-or-treating last night, and of course Mount Vernon Street, packed with people as usual. So Lucas, what's probably your favorite trick-or-treating memory?
Probably when I was like 10 and I went as a Ninja Turtle, and I was up real late, and I was just happy to be up that late because I never was allowed to.
Oh man, Emma, what's probably your fondest memory of trick-or-treating?
Probably that year when I was dressed up as a hot dog and my dad was Batman and he scared me and I fell over and I couldn't get up.
Well, I assume someone helped you up.
Yeah, they eventually helped me up once they were done laughing.
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, I'd probably sit there and laugh for a couple minutes and then go, all right, I guess I better help her up now. I've laughed enough. Oh, man. So, Coach, let's get back to some pool stuff here. And obviously, swimming isn't one of the sports that gets the huge spotlight that other sports do. And again, you have 24 swimmers total between boys and girls on your team. So, what are some of the things you do to try to go out there, recruit among the Prescott student population, to try to build up your roster year after year?
Well, we have our swimmers, talk to other students and encourage them. We are also at Badger Night when the incoming freshmen are there to look over the school. We'll have a booth there that we invite them to come to the swim team. And then it's mainly just word of mouth and then talking to the club teams to get their swimmers to look at swim rather than one of the other sports.
Okay, so Lucas, how did you wind up getting involved with the Prescott swim team?
Well, ever since I was really young, my mom had me practice swimming, and it's just something I always enjoyed. And eventually I went to the YMCA to do a practice in there, and I saw the high school team, and they were going real fast, and I thought, that looks cool. I want to try that.
Okay. Emma, what about you? What got you interested in Prescott Swim?
Well, my mom was a swimmer, and so I became a swimmer, and I've been on the club team with Coach Bill for like 4 years before high school, so he really encouraged me.
And, of course, both of you are on the relay teams at Prescott. So, Lucas, what would you say are some of the things that make for a really good relay team?
Probably our anchor. I mean, he's always standing there getting us ready, and he's just the fastest one usually, and just getting us ready to go.
Emma, what about you? What does it take to put together a really good relay team of 4 swimmers?
I'd say the first girl going off, she's always our spark, and if she swims fast, then we swim fast because she just kind of inspires us all.
And of course, Coach, there are several different events for swim. So, as a coach, how do you figure out which swimmers will do well in which events and kind of make up that starting lineup?
Well, I mean, we do a lot of testing. We do time trials. I keep stats on every swimmer that we've had and over the years. And so I look at how they're doing in practice, and then just what their technique looks like, and then I start building it from there. I also look at the opponents, see where they're strongest, and then try to anticipate where they're going to swim their heavy swimmers, and then try to match up or not match up and go after a different event with certain swimmers.
And then, of course, we were talking about the relays, and I guess that's another thing, trying to figure out, which 4 guys, which 4 girls would be good together as a relay team. So how do you figure that out?
Yeah, a lot of it is, based on time. But, you never know, because sometimes chemistry plays a bigger part than just being able to go fast, or that they don't go fast in the relay, but they do in their individual. So you gotta know their tendencies. The other thing is the changeover. When one comes in, the other one goes out. Some people get really excited about that person coming in and will go early. So I have to take all that into account when I'm building that team.
All right. And like I said, this time next Saturday, you're going to be down at Skyline Aquatic Center in Mesa for the state meet. So what are some of the things you are going to be doing this last week of the season leading up to the state meet to get ready for it?
Well, right after Best in the West, we started tapering, which it sounds more than it is, but we start backing off on the number of yards that they are swimming. We keep the intensity up because they have to be ready to go. Their muscles have to be strong. And so we've been tapering since Monday, and we're going to taper all the way to state, where they're only probably going to do before the meet probably 1,000 yards. And then they should be ready to go, and we'll do prelims on Friday and see where they end up. If they get up in the top 16, then they'll go to finals. And then the relays are only finals, so we know that we're going to have at least 4 relays going to finals.
All right. Well, folks, we're coming up to the end of the show here, but hey, I want to thank Coach Bill Revere for joining us here in the studio, along with 2 of his swimmers, Lucas Hall and Emma Chrysler. Guys, want to thank you very much for joining us here. Best of luck at state next week, and of course, right here on KYCA, we will keep all you folks up to date and give you the final results on how Prescott does. And also, I'm sure Patty Eller and Bradshaw Mountain, they'll probably have some of their swimmers down there too. So we will have that recap for you on our sports reports. If you miss it on the air, you can catch it on our website, kyca.info. Again, folks, thanks for being with us here on the show. Best of luck at state to all of you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, that'll do it for the show. Remember, coming up on Monday over on our sports station, The Team, 1450 AM, KNOT, we will have the regular season finale for Prescott flag football. They'll be over at Lee Williams. That starts at 6 p.m. Along with the radio side, you can also catch the live stream on the KYCA Facebook page and KYCA Digital on YouTube. Coming up also today on The Team, 1450 AM, we have ASU football versus Iowa State. That actually gets underway in about 10 minutes from now. And then later this afternoon, Game 7 of the World Series between Toronto and the Dodgers for all the marbles today. All right, folks, thanks again for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We'll see you next